Hello, you might ask yourself, what exactly is cottagecore? Well, it is just cozy, cute, connected to nature and often on the smaller side, which makes it perfect as a starter base. First of all, let's have a closer look at these cottagecore houses to get an idea of what we want to build. So, welcome to Cottagecore Hill, a place filled with trees, big chimneys, animals, farms, shutters, ponds, well, plants and other stuff. These builds are not very big and also not very complex, but still have enough detail to not be boring. Looking from above, the shapes are really simple, so let's go over to this nice spot to build another house based off of these. Feel free to build yours similar to this one, think of your own one or just use this as inspiration. So, first of all, lay down the outlines of your house. Of course you should have a general idea of how your build is supposed to look like, but details are for later. Make sure to keep the number of blocks in your walls uneven, as even numbers are notoriously difficult to build with when it comes to the roof. Yeah, I messed up over there. Attach some smaller bits here and there for an interesting shape, but you can also do that later when you think something is still missing. Next we have to think about our block palette. The first two examples are rather subtle with more neutral colors, but the third one is using pink, blue and green and is quite colorful. So we can go all for color and gradients if we'd like to, but for my building example I am thinking about something survival friendly like birch for the walls, dark oak for the details and moss for the roof. That will do. We'll add to this later, now we just need blocks to bring the walls and roof up. So think about these as our base. The walls don't have to be too high, 5 or 6 blocks are enough. Windows and doors will be added later, right now we will just focus on the shape. If you already know where you'd like to have your windows and are building survival, of course you can leave out space for them to reduce the work. For the roof, let's do a gabled roof, so just build up this bit here. I like to shape it a bit so it gets deeper to the top, so add just add more to the top. Don't bother using stairs or slabs, full blocks work just fine and give you more blocks to choose from. The roof looks best when it is overhanging a bit, that also adds a lot of depth to the build. Then fill it in, I guess. I'm using moss blocks for this, and as you can see I built a rim around using dark oak. One thing to pay attention to is the highest line of blocks. When you have a curved shape like this, make sure to not have it just one block high. Instead just add more on top. Like this we already have a nicely shaped house. Looking at these example builds, they have a few detailing features in common, so let's have a closer look at them one by one. What I think is most noticeable is the huge chimney, and for my build I'd like to have one similar to this one. It goes all the way down to the ground and provides an opportunity to integrate a gradient. Since my house here is supposed to be survival friendly, I will use cobblestone, tough stone and andesite instead of bricks and mud variants. The bottom is a bit thicker and the top part is 2x2. Then I go back and add a basic gradient going from dark to light. Mix in some moss and mossy variants, maybe also add some buttons or walls for more detail. The inside of the builds must be cozy with a warm fire going on, so we definitely also need a smoke effect. Either build one using glass blocks or use campfires. Campfires can be hidden with trapdoors, but to show you how to build smoke with glass I am doing that instead. We need black, dark grey, light grey and white glass blocks. Think about how windy your scene is and from which direction the wind is coming from. Based on that, build one line we will add blocks to. The bottom is darker and again we build a gradient. Add the blocks to your line and try to leave gaps within. To the top the smoke gets thicker as it is spreading in the air. Next we need a door. These all have a small roof over the door, so let's do this too. Extend the wall by 1 or 2 blocks forward and make another small gabled roof. This also adds more depth to the build and ties it together. A single door would look quite small, so you can also use trapdoors next to it and even make it somewhat curved using stairs like so. The windows can be quite simple, or you adjust them to where you want to put them. For my houses I used simple glass panes or trapdoors, but if you'd like to go more fancy, feel free to do so. Cottagecore is more like an idealized view on rural life, so why not go all the way to make shutters for each window? Spruce trapdoors work well for this, and you can either place them like this flat on the wall or so that they stick out. A mix of those works best, and also you don't run out of space. To get the connected to nature part more going, I am going to add another small part to the building. It really is just another few blocks. A lean-to roof works best, and then instead of using real walls, I am going to place glass to create something like a greenhouse or aquarium. Enough space for all your plants. Basically, this is a decent complete house, but also let's add some texture to it. To make it not look too noisy, use gradients, but also add spots like this. Think about where the house is damaged, weathered, or where moss could be growing. Surely your cottagecore house is a bit older and has seen a few storms and rainy days. Be careful to not overdo it though. You can take your time with each block and always come back to it and change it. In the end, I couldn't resist to add at least some mud bricks, they are great. The roof will stay for the biggest part mossy, as that allows us to place flowers, fern and grass onto it. When you use a different type of block, you can also do a gradient to moss if you'd like. But then also think about where moss would grow. Flowers on top look really cool too and are also helping connect the build to nature and the surroundings. And at any otherwise empty wall you can place leaves, also let them go under windows. I like to mix azalea with flowering azalea leaves so that there is some variation. Just mentioned the surroundings, so let's get to those. Again, focus on farm and plant themed details. So for example, you can build these raised beds with coarse dirt and trapdoors. Or just place flowers and grass everywhere, and trees. For this one I even built a shelf using trapdoors to store even more flowers. For the farming aspect, build your farms, whether functional or decorative, all around your house. You can use different vegetables and even mix them to make it a bit more messy. A huge cornfield also looks great, and it looks even better when you mix in some sun or cornflowers. You can surround your house and garden with a fence. You can also get a bit more creative and mix walls and leaves, though like this it is not mob-proof. Create small cute wells and ponds. This is a great lily pad design using a trapdoor on the water and a coral on top. Make sure to detail ponds with rocks, seagrass and other stuff to make it look alive. What else could be missing? Maybe some pets? Surely they will like your build and always wait for your return from your adventures. And that is how you build a cottagecore house in Minecraft. I know I didn't show everything block by block, but if you'd like to have a closer look, you can find a link to download these builds down below. I hope you found this video helpful, and until the next time, goodbye!